Hello and welcome to today's episode of Hear Us Out. Today we have a very special guest called Kawtar, and she was on the scheme a year ago and has since graduated from the university. So today we're going to be discussing all about her happy memories of the scheme and how she used her experience from the reciprocal mentoring scheme to get onto another scheme with Formula One. Here we go.
It's absolutely brilliant to be talking to you today, Kawtar. So it would be great if you could tell us, what did you think it would be like at the beginning?
Honestly, when I first started this, and I'm not gonna lie, I really just wanted the gift card. So I didn't really think much of what it was before I joined. And I was a bit interested, but not really. It was at first like a session where we just had like a conversation as a whole with other people from minority backgrounds, but it wasn't like mentoring. You kept on mentioning that no one's gonna be recorded, this gonna be anonymous, and I was scared at first. I was like, I hope I'm not saying something that might put me into troubles. I think we had like a form and we had to say our minds about like some wordings or what do we think of some sort of actions that people do normal, if that is offensive or not. And I never thought of it, like I've never sat and actually thought of such things like before. So that's what made me really interested into sort of digging a bit deeper into what this sort of project was. And you guys mentioned that it's going to be like a mentoring scheme, but you weren't sure of the sort of format. But at least you asked us to join you, which was very exciting as well, because I thought we were going to have more gift cards. Yeah, so and then when I saw the description on Lancaster's careers, I think, where you could apply and all, I thought it was very interesting in the sense that it does put some sort of spotlight on minorities and thinking of subjects that I've just never actually sat and thought of them. So yeah, very interesting.
That's great. I think that's really interesting what you say about how you'd never really had the space to think about those things before. It's,
Yeah.
yeah. And I'm really glad that we could do more than just give you gift cards, but could actually pay you for your time.
Not that only, but also getting to know you guys. I think that is one of the best things from the scheme is to actually get to know people and amazing people like you, especially. So yeah.
Oh. I mean, it's been a real privilege for us in reciprocal mentoring to meet so many amazing people, and just our students are just so fabulous and have such powers of reflection and depth and real understanding and so much to bring to the scheme. You know, it's just been a huge privilege getting to know all of you so well, and also I've said before about Leomi, you know, it's just really working together, and I like what you said there about, you know, we asked you to join us. It did feel very much like a journey for all of us coming together and coming with us. It's not, that was the whole thing about the reciprocity. There was something for everyone to learn, and people could have influence within the scheme and really meeting each other. I'm really heartened to hear you say that, Kawtar. That's really good. So if you were trying to explain it to a friend who was interested in joining this kind of scheme, how would you do that? What do you think you would tell them?
This is an open space where you having this sort of, you know, a senior person who is really keen on helping you and sort of getting to understand the things that you are facing every day, not really just troubles, but just anything really. And having this sort of, I'd say, break of life, like going and just talking about them instead of just facing them. And I think that is the biggest achievement from this reciprocal scheme is that you do get to stop and think it through and get someone from the other side who is a decision maker and who can sort of change it, listening to you and actually changing it, or keen on sort of understanding what's happening and working on it. So if you want to get heard with people, with the right people, I'd say that's where you go.
That's really lovely. And Kawtar, so You didn't really have any expectations as such when you first started on the scheme, but then obviously you've now found yourself with this chance to essentially get your voice heard. How did that make you feel?
It was something I've never had before, so I think it was a new experience to me, but definitely on the good side. Like, I was able to sort of express things that I couldn't express before, or even sort of talk about them with anyone really, except my parents, because especially coming from immigrant parents and first generation of immigrants, you don't really want to sort of put a lot of weight on your parents. They already have higher expectations, so sometimes you do keep things for yourself and you sort of leave them alone. But then when you get to express them out loud and you think, oh, that was actually not right, or this experience is not just normal, and getting someone else to confirm it, which was my reciprocal mentoring partner, and then another person, which is a staff, to actually say, yes, this shouldn't have been allowed, or yes, this is not normal. So it was a unique experience to me because I never had this sort of space to talk and to say such things.
Wow, that's really powerful.
Yeah, that is. Thank you. What do you think you learned from your staff mentor?
Well, I remember Mark, who was my staff mentor, being very relatable in so many ways. Like, we're not really different. We do face many things, and they're very similar to a sense. And also, what I learned from him is the way he actually is keen on solving things. He always had his note with him, and he actually went through the statistics because he comes from mathematics department, and we had the chance to sort of talk about things of common interest, and at the same time things that he gave value to, and we were like really appreciative. So I think him being keen and being open to experience new things, I think for him, because he doesn't really know why such things are happening in the awarding gap, and this openness was a good thing, and I think a crucial thing that I learned, as well as just seeing the way that we behave and the way that we sort of experience things are very much the same.
It was a bit eye-opening then for you to see how
Yes,
relatable, yeah.
definitely, yeah. And I think I hope I influenced him a little, because he definitely did. And I remember saying, like, let's stay in touch, and let's make it, because he didn't have a LinkedIn at that point, and we just exchanged numbers and all. Like a year and so after, he did send me an invitation on LinkedIn. I was
Oh.
so happy when I saw it. So yeah, that is something I remember.
That is brilliant. So thinking back about the experience, what were your highlights, do you think?
All of them, honestly. I mean, getting to know Lee was such a big highlight, and because he is a friend now, and that was something that I really appreciated from the scheme, is that also you get to talk to other people and make new friendships, as well as getting to know you guys. Like, I used to know Louise before, but I don't think we were as close, so that is a big highlight, I think. And
Oh,
also, I remember one of the sessions, we had someone coming from careers talking about what we could get from this scheme, and the qualities and all to put on our CV. And that was actually a good thing, because I did use it, I'm not gonna lie.
good.
In my interviews. And yeah, I remember some adjectives that the person that came was using, like managing up, like you actually talking to people that are higher and senior than you. That was something I did use. And also just the way I got to interact with people. Like, me and Lee didn't have issues sort of scheduling our meeting with Mark, because Mark was very keen as well. And also organizing such things, and the fact that I could sort of sustain this relationship further after the reciprocal scheme is a highlight as well.
No, that's
I mean,
fantastic.
I should be asking you guys, what do you think are the highlights of the reciprocal scheme from your side of you?
Oh, I
That's a
like
great
that.
question.
Do you want to go first, please?
I'll go first. So I would say definitely the highlight for me is the people. that we've worked with. And it ties in with what you said and Leomi mentioned about the empowerment and the confidence as we go through the scheme, and people's confidence at discussing these kinds of issues. And then you can see people learning from each other and feeling that sense of community. Because as you said, you feel you're living a lot of these things alone, and actually you meet other people and you've got that space to discuss things, and to see that actually work and to give people confidence, and for both the staff mentors and the student mentors to see that building is just amazing. That's the highlight for me, just the people. And what about you, Leomi?
Yeah, quite similarly, I think watching relationships grow throughout the scheme, I think that was really beautiful. Especially our end of scheme events, like you'd see people would become like really quite close friends, or you'd see people with their staff mentors, and it just, yeah, it was really beautiful because you see them all at the start when they're all strangers and they don't know each other, and then you see them all at the end and there's just beautiful atmosphere in the room. It's amazing.
Yeah, fantastic. What a great question, Kawtar. Thank you. So thinking about the scheme overall and where you are now, is there anything that has stayed with you from the scheme?
Of
Florence?
course. I mean, the people, you, especially Louise, and also I maintained my friendship with Mark and Lee. We actually do meet from time to time because we live very close to each other. So that was a cool thing, as well as another theme. It was for ethnic minorities to sort of prepare them to join Formula One and motorsport in general. And it was done with an association that is interested in minorities. And I did join that scheme using the sort of background and what I learned from the mentoring scheme and how to talk to my mentor and all, because now it's pretty much a one-to-one conversation rather than a two-to-one. But just the fact that I've already gone through this experience of talking to someone before who was senior did show me how to talk to my new mentor. And the very fact that I got a place in this scheme is, I think I did use my mentoring scheme on my CV. Yeah, that is something I always put on my CV because I think diversity, especially in companies now, is very important. And you actually showing that you did something towards that is also important. Yeah, pretty much just talking to people, the confidence, and then using this for my work experiences, or sometimes interview questions like, tell me about a time you've actually done an initiative or something like this. I think the mentoring scheme is the perfect example to show that you actually go beyond just studies and beyond just focusing on like a degree, but rather doing or trying to make a change towards diversity in general for other people. So I think that was also a good point to add. And yeah, just the happy memory as well. That is a big achievement, just getting that in my memory and remembering that I was part of it. So yeah.
We've loved you being part of the scheme, and there are a lot of happy memories, I have to say. I don't think I've not got any sad memories at all.
Definitely not.
Oh, thank you for that, Kawtar. That's so beautiful. That's so lovely.
Thank you.
Well, that's all we have for today, so thanks for listening.